So on this card here, these cards, there's just 3 screws on the G6 panel here, so you're probably familiar with the front side of the G6 panel, and many of you have probably even dealt with looking at the back side of it. So each card that's plugged into this G6 panel has its own circuit protection built right into it. So none of our products in this product line require any fuses to be replaced or anything like that. So on the circuits that are used for dimming lights and doing relays, we'll get into that in a minute here, looking at the functions of each G6 panel. But there's these, what we call PTC resettable fuses built into each circuit. So there's 12 different circuits on this panel, 12 different lights would be controlled by this. And number 2 is my entry lights. Okay? So this resettable fuse, if there's a short on the wire here, will trip. And it's not something that you have to reset or replace. It'll automatically reset as soon as the short is removed. So the reason this is important to understand is because if I am testing here on the back of my panel, I take my test light or my multimeter, and I'm just going to plug it into the back of the harness and check it there, and I see there's no 12 volts, even though my LED on the front is on and my switch is turned on here. If there's no 12 volts, I might think, oh, I've got a bad card, I'll replace this card. You put the new card in, plug it in, it's going to do exactly the same thing if there was a short on that wire. Because this PTC fuse will trip if there's a short, and it's not going to put out 12 volts because it's tripped. So what you want to do when you're working this problem through is unplug the harness from the back of the connector and then test for voltage. Okay? Then I'm going to know if I have 12 volts. And if I know that when I plug it in, my 12 volts goes away, then I know I've got a short on that wire. Now I can address that problem. Okay? But you understand, now we're on the load side of this. Okay? So the other possibility, of course, is that the wire's broken somewhere along the line, or there's a poor connection, or the light bulb itself is burned out if it's just a single circuit light bulb or something like that. So on a Phaeton bus or Zephyr, the top card is always a dimmer card. So if you were to take, and we actually had this happen the other day, somebody accidentally, honest mistake, they were maybe dealing with an issue on this top card, so they took the dimmer card out, put a relay card in. Okay, so what happens then is when you maybe you're running down the line with all the lights on full blast, it would actually work. But when you go to dim a light, this relay is going to start buzzing. So the customer gets the unit now, takes delivery of it, and they're complaining that there's a buzzing sound coming from their Phaeton or bus, I forget what it was. So what happened there was somebody took the card from something else and put it in there, and now there was a big problem, and they had to warranty the whole panel. They didn't have to, they could have just put a dimmer card in, but that's what ended up happening. Okay. So 2 things there. Number 1, yes, you can swap the cards. They do plug in, basically any one of these can plug into any location. Should you do it? Each card has its own specific function, and there's even differences between each card. So should you do it? No. But what you can do, instead of replacing the whole panel, let's say going back to this entry light issue, my entry light wasn't turning on, and I unplugged the harness on the back side and put my test light on there. I've got the green light on for channel 2 here, but no voltage coming out here. I'm probably looking at a bad card. Now you don't have to go to the effort of replacing the whole panel. Those 3 screws, this unplugs, put the new one in, and you're done. Okay? But you've got to get the right one. Okay? So you'll notice here in the diagram there's actually a Tiffin part number beside each one of these. Okay? So that's the part number you would order, and that's going to come then specifically for that location. So then a dimmer card would be a dimmer card, and things would work right there. Now, just moving down, looking at the next card here, you'll see connector number 4 through 5 is over here, and it's controlling more lights and that kind of thing. But you'll notice here on the next card down, card number C, connector 7 through 9, we've got a bunch of vent fans that are controlled from the 3rd card down. So what you'll notice here, there's these little red squares that are highlighted here. And when I pass the board around, you'll take a look and you'll see there's little solder jumpers that are on the back of that card, wherever one of those red little squares are. Now that's set up so that the vent fan can lift up and down on the lid. Okay? So if you were to take that card from above it and swap it with the one below it, those jumpers wouldn't be there, and now that vent fan lid wouldn't go up and down as it should. Okay? So you can't just, take, now there are cases where there'll be just a plain old relay card. And in the diagram here, I guess that one doesn't show, this isn't a manual that I've had in here for a long time, but there might be some cases where you see that it is the same part number. And if it is, then you could swap them, if you had to or use that one. But if it has a unique part number, it needs to be ordered as that part. So that's kind of one of the benefits of the G6 panel, is you don't need to replace the whole panel. Some may remember on the like the Allegro Open Roads, it was a different style panel on those, and it didn't have cards like this that you could swap. So if you had an issue with one little channel on a card, you had to swap the whole panel. So that's a little bit about the G6 panel and the cards.